USAA knows dynamic duos can save the day, like superheroes and sidekicks, or auto and home insurance. With USAA, you can bundle your auto and home and save up to 10%. Tap the banner to learn more and get a quote at USAA.com/bundle. Restrictions apply.
Excuse me! Taxi!
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
And you guys, obviously, so many big stories, and President Trump just a little bit ago at the White House saying he is going to be meeting with Chinese leader Xi in April. And then he also said that Xi is going to be coming over to the United States. This is big news. And there's so much stuff to talk about. And who better than the great Asia expert, Gordon Chang? His Twitter is Gordon G. Chang. Gordon, are you surprised that this meeting's going to be happening? And where are they going to be meeting? Where is Trump meeting Xi? Do you know?
I think it's going to be in the White House, Rita, because President Trump talked about a Washington meeting. And this has been in the cards since October 30, when the two talked by phone. So I think that we're going to and actually met in Seoul or in South Korea. So, yeah, this has been in the cards, and we're waiting to see what's going to happen, because I'm a bit concerned about what we're going to do in the run-up to that meeting.
Yeah, what do you think is going to happen? And you know the other thing, too, Gordon, this story is a blockbuster. It just came out, and you've maybe heard of this, but they're calling it sort of these it's sort of a sham marriage, if you will. There was 11 charge. It's Florida-based military marriage fraud scheme where Chinese nationals, I guess, honeypots, sort of maybe the kind that were hanging around with Eric Swalwell, right? But, I guess they, were befriending military guys and then trying to get information on military bases. I mean, that's a very serious, sort of form of coercion and espionage and very sort of sneaky way. I mean, it's another way that China's sort of infiltrating us.
Well, certainly. And China's been using this playbook for decades, so we shouldn't be surprised. And we should be more prepared for it, because China acts not only outside the U.S., but increasingly inside our country as well, because we know that they have that network of agents, operatives, spies, and soldiers, and they're very effective because we have not been devoting the resources necessary to combat China.
Ed Cox?
So, Gordon, there is a new prime minister in Japan who actually extended the sort of, in a vague way, but defended the defense perimeter to Taiwan of Japan. And the Chinese reacted very strongly to that. Do you think it had an impact on her big election that she just had?
Well, certainly there was a big impact for her because she became very popular after her November 7th comments. And what she said was that if China were to attack Taiwan, that would be a, quote, security-threatening situation for Japan. Those are words that come out of the 2015 National Security Law of Japan, and that would allow her to mobilize the self-defense forces. So clearly that is the case because Japan and Taiwan form the same archipelago, and there are parts of Japan, islands, which are within 59 nautical miles of the main island of Taiwan. So this is clearly a situation where Japan would be threatened. And she became very popular when she stood up to China and when she would not back down in the face of intimidation and economic costs that the Chinese imposed on Japan.
Governor Patterson.
How long do you think this is going to go on until there's some type of resolution, Gordon?
I think this will go on for as long as the Communist Party rules China. We got to go back to the first two rulers of Communist China, Mao Zedong and Deng Xiaoping. They were confident of their legitimacy, and they had very good and warm relations with Japan. It was only when you had weak leaders in China, starting with Jiang Zemin, then Hu Jintao, and now Xi Jinping, that there have been problems in that relationship because those three leaders used Japan as a way of increasing their popularity. So there will never be good relations between Tokyo and Beijing as long as the Communist Party rules China.
Well, it's going to be a big, big topic, obviously, to see the interplay, obviously, with our great ally, Japan, and then to see what happens when President Trump meets with Xi in April. The dynamics here are so fascinating. Ed Cox, real quick.
Do you think there's an agenda normally there's an agenda set before the meeting is announced? Do you think
with Xi and Trump?
With Xi and Trump. What do you think that agenda will be?
I think that agenda will be comprehensive. It will cover almost everything. We can see actions of the administration which appear to be giving concessions to China beforehand. This is what the Prime Minister of Great Britain did, Keir Starmer. He approved China's mega embassy in London. That was a way to ensure that Keir Starmer would be invited to Beijing. He was, just moments after he gave that approval. And the Chinese humiliated Starmer anyway. So I think it's important not to make concessions to China in the run-up to a meeting, because that way we give the Chinese a reason to negotiate with us. If we give them what they want beforehand, we don't get any goodwill. What we get is the Chinese pocketing the concessions and then demanding more.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see where this goes. Boy, oh boy, Ed, we'll be watching closely. Everybody, thank you very much, Gordon. We really appreciate it. And all eyes on China. I mean, all eyes on the relationship with the U.S. and China, too. That is a biggie. Thank you, Gordon, so much.
Thank you, Rita, and thank you, everybody.